Hey everybody, it's Reverend Chris here with the First Church Daily Inspirational Message. Welcome back to my office. It's still full of stuff, but in a good way. That means that I'm doing ministry to help this church do what it's supposed to do. And so these daily inspirational messages are based off of the sermon that this week I preached. And I preached on Matthew 7, 24 to 29. And the main point of the sermon really was that we should build our lives on what Jesus says and then do it. Build our lives on what Jesus says and then do it. The thing is, let's say you decide to do this, right? The question then is, how do we know exactly what Jesus is saying for us to do, right? We have the Bible, but people seem to say that the Bible says all sorts of things, pushing us in all sorts of different directions. So how do we know if we're actually hearing Jesus? And why should we trust His words? So I'm convinced that if you want to know the words of and why we should trust our lives on the words of Jesus, we need to know who Jesus is, what His character is like. We need to know the God that we are surrendering to, right? So when I hear the words of a close friend, right, and that close friend's trying to tell me, look, I love you, but the decision you're making right now, I don't know if it's the best one, and then that close friend decides to share that advice. It's not just the words that he's saying to me that matter, but the fact that I know his character. I know how much he knows me. And I know how much he cares for my life. And so, for us, I think we need to get to know God better so that when God speaks to us, we know exactly why those words matter, right? So, what I think that looks like for you today is try to think about, what ways am I getting to know God? Am I praying? Am I trying to get closer to God by being a part of a church community? And am I setting aside time every day to get to know God through the Bible? Do I have a daily devotional time? Maybe part of it is watching videos like this one or some other devotional book. But the important point is that the more you get to know who God is, the more you get to know why trusting your life on what Jesus says to us matters, and why it's worth building your life on doing what He says. Thanks so much. I'll see you again tomorrow.